Hello YouTube, back again with another video. This time I'm going to be doing a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, but of my Eldlich deck that I just played recently online. So, like I said before, I'm going to go straight through the deck. From now on, if I'm to do a deck profile, it's a lot better if I showcased on Dueling Book, so that you guys have a better way of seeing all my card choices, and that way you don't have to remember everything. So moving forward, obviously we're maxing out on 3 Ash Blossom. Not much to explain, just comes in clutch. The one tech that I'm using is Pankratops. Since I'm not playing that many monsters, it will come in handy because it helps you just distribute yourself to pop any card on the field, although it's targeting. It may be a targeting fit, but what makes it worth it is the fact that it's quick effect. So it's better to have at least one copy just in case. 2 Eldlich, we're not maxing out on this card because it can be kind of bricky playing more than 2 copies, but you also want to be able to see at least one copy so you can be able to send one of your spells and traps to the grave to target one card and get rid of it. And not only that, he can constantly bring himself back from the grave. And not only does he gain 1,000 attack till the next end phase, he cannot be destroyed by card effects. And most likely these changes last until the end of your opponent's turn, so which will always come in handy. 3 Ghost Spell because we're getting rid of a lot of cards and we want to slow my opponent down as much as possible, since they love to move cards from the graveyard, or it's simply, or there's so many ways that you can utilize it, that you can pretty much not only stop your opponent from extending but protecting your graveyard as well. A card that we have to max out on is 3 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Being able to get any of your spell trap cards, although you have to wait till your opponent's turn after this card has been revealed, but not only that, it's able to protect your back row. So going on to the spells, like I said, this small monster lineup, we're maxing out on 3 Cursed Eldland, allowing you to pay 800 life points to search at least one Eldlich monster or a golden land from spell and trap from your deck to your hand. And not only that, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can send one golden land or Eldlich monster from your deck to the graveyard, which also plays an important role. So just why you have to keep it at 3 because it can do so much for you. We're just playing a one-off spell, which happens to be Eldlich of White Destiny. This is something you don't want to draw too often. You only want to see it once. You won't because it's the least strongest extender in your deck. Although it lets you retrieve a zombie monster from your graveyard, but you're mainly using it to summon Eldlich. So not only that, let's see, it's a graveyard effect. It's the same thing. Pretty much lets you just set a golden land spell or trap directly from your deck to the field. So, and one thing I'm surprised I don't know any golden land spell cards that are in this deck, so that have been printed. And maxing out, we're playing 3 Forbidden Droplet. Just will make a huge difference in the game when you're playing against a lot of disruptions. Omnigates, not only does it negate their effects, it doesn't target, plus it halves their attack points. And depending on the type of card that you send, they cannot activate cards in response depending on the cards that you send. So another spell we're maxing out on, the last spell, 3 Triple Tactics Talents, gives you 3 incredible options, allowing you to draw 2 cards, getting control of 1 monster opponent controls till the end phase, shuffling 1 card from their hand to the deck, and the fact is the only way this works unless they activate a monster effect during your main phase. Because now that's how Yu-Gi-Oh is. If you guys are pretty much aware, they want to stop you from playing. So if they try to stop you from playing, you can always activate this card afterwards. And going immediately into our traps, we're playing 3 Conquistador. So pretty much how they work is that you can special summon them, and if you control Golden Lord, they have certain effects that can trigger that resolve whenever Golden Lord is on the field. Like this one allows you to destroy 1 face-up card on the field, and then they have this effect where they activate during the end phase. But this card pretty much is the same thing. During the end phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, set 1 Eldlich spell trap from your deck to the field. And we're maxing out on 3 Dogmatica Punishment. We are not playing the Dogmatica package, but this will help regardless because it allows you to just simply destroy an opponent's monster, and you rarely even use the extra deck. to special summon. So even though we're maxing out on this trick, but it's to give you more options, because if you send Entis off this stuff using this effect, you basically swap 2 cards for free, which it definitely comes in handy, 100%. A card that we're maxing out obviously is 3 Eldlich of Scarlet Sanguine, one of the strongest Eldlich cards, one of the strongest cards in the Eldlich deck, in the Eldlich lineup. So being able to special summon 1 zombie from your deck or graveyard, but the only pretty much the same thing. You banish it while during not during the phase, but you can banish it from your grave to set 1 golden land spell trap from your deck to the field. Another golden land trap we're playing is Haquera of the Golden Land. I'm not playing the other one. I'm not sure what it's called. It has like some wolf type of trap. Just don't think it's that as good as it seems. So these ones are just more powerful. This pretty much has more attack than the other Golden Land, than Conquistador. So this one, you can special summon it, but if you control Golden Lord, you can banish 1 card from either player's graveyard. And the same thing during the phase. You can banish it to set 1 Eldlich spell trap directly from your deck to the field. Another trap that we're maxing out on is Ice Dragon's Prison, because it is just a generic trap that lets you get rid of one of your opponent's monsters that doesn't target. Plus, it can help you extend into your link summons. But just something that's worth pretty much playing. Like it's like you have just being able to banish more cards will just come in handy, and for sure it'll make dueling that much easier for you. So in the final trap that we're playing and we're maxing out on skill drain, people are saying you should get limited, but I'm not sure. I don't think they're gonna do it immediately, but at the same time, even if it does get limited, this card is very important in this deck because you're not playing a lot of monsters, and just being able to negate all monsters' effects on the field is very important, because you want to ensure that you have like a comfortable board that your opponent does not prevent you from playing. So this card, although maybe people may say it's broken, but considering you have to set it first and you have to pay life points when you're playing a lot of back row, just let it be known that this card is meant for Eldlich, and that it will help it through time and time. So, and we're going straight into our extra deck. We're maxing on 3 Entis. Since we're playing 3 Dogmatic Punishment, that's usually the card that you want to send with Punishment. Its field effect does not do anything unless you fusion summon this card from your extra deck, or you special summon by sending these specific monsters. But the whole point of this card is simply just send off of Punishment. 2 Divine Zeus, because you can easily summon into your rank 10 monsters, and being able to have access to just ensures that you can be able to have a disruption during your opponent's turn, and the fact that he's just very easy to summon. He's level 12 and just is the strongest Xyz monster out there, so why wouldn't you play him? So the rank 10s that I was talking about, we're maxing out on 3 Gustav Max, being able to inflict 2,000 points of damage right off the bat. I would rather max out on this card because it's to ensure that you have victory. So even though you can just play 2 copies, but 3 you want to make sure that you have a chance of beating your opponent. So you don't entirely even deal battle damage. You can pretty much win with this card alone. So, but in case that doesn't work out, you can always go for you can exceed straight into Juggernaut Leap by using Gustav Max. So this card is basically an OTK killer, not only gaining 2,000 attack, so he's gonna be at 6,000, but being able to attack all monsters your opponent controls during each battle phase plus the number of times for each material that is attached to this card. Into our links, going to Axis Code Talkers, and just one of the strongest link monsters out there. Gaining 1,000 for each link rating that was used to summon this monster, and banishing a link monster with a different attribute, and maybe destroy a card which your opponent can't respond to, and on top of not the fact that it does not target. So another very powerful link monster we're also going to go into is Soldier of Chaos. Might not be better than Access Code, might not be easier to summon, but if you use the first effect, because if it's used for, when you link summon it with a level 7 higher monster, cannot be targeted with card effects, also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And when destroyed by a opponent's monster of battle, you gain one of these three effects: either banishing a card, giving a second attack during the next battle phase, or against 1500. But the best one is to simply banish a card on the field without targeting. And as you can tell, I'm playing the Nightmare package, Cerberus, Phoenix, like Unicorn, and then the last link monster we're playing, Vampire Sucker. Just a very important card to play in this. The extra deck, since our traps that are Golden Land happen to be zombie monsters while they're on the field when you summon them, and you can use them to link summon with your Eldlich, the Golden Lord, or your hand traps that I have here, which is why I'm maxing out on Ghost Spell and Ash. But a card itself is very useful because you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard to special summon to your field defense position, but it becomes a zombie monster, and if a zombie monster is special summon from either graveyard, you draw a card. So that effect may not always tend to happen, but like if you summon Golden Lord off the effects of Sanguine or White Destiny or wherever you can get access to summoning zombie monsters, being able to draw a card just in itself is very useful, but the whole purpose you want to extend into your linked plays as well and be able to build your board. But again, this is just this is one of that it's just simply I feel is worth placing into your extra deck, because I feel like there are times where you need this. It gives you that option. We have more where it's more optimal, and that your extra deck has more ways of trying to counter your opponent's strategy, and being able to give you more options that are valid that can help you in today's Yu-Gi-Oh. So, but again, I hope you guys enjoy the duel. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.